And Jen is actually studying to be a homeopath. She's going to tell us a little bit about that. But my first question for Jen, first of all, thank you so much for coming and taking your time to be with us today. And my first question is for you. Can you tell us a little bit about your health journey and your medical experience?
Well, I have been working in the medical field for about 25 years now.
Okay.
I started out working in a doctor's office as a receptionist, and I've been in home health, and then I went and got my nursing license, and I've worked as a nurse for 12 or 13 years.
Okay.
I was in the renal transplant floor for a little while, and then I did most of my time in orthopedics. So
Wow.
we
Okay.
replaced joints and did some plastic surgeries, and yeah, so, and then when I moved to Colorado about 5 years ago, I started finding my health journey, and away from all the pharmaceuticals and all the unhealthy practices that I had already known all my life, and I found homeopathy. So that's my health journey. That's where I'm at now. I've been studying homeopathy since I took your homeopathy class.
Okay, wonderful. And that was been how long? A few years, right?
Yeah, probably 3 maybe.
Okay, 3 years or so. Okay, wonderful. So was there anything that triggered for you leaving the medical field? Were you concerned about anything that was happening?
Well, I, as a nurse working in the orthopedic field, I was a drug dealer. I gave
A legal
out,
one. You were giving out legal
I was
drugs.
a legal drug dealer. Here's your pain meds, here's your pain meds. And patients came in and they had these gallon-sized bags full of medications, and doctors are giving medications for side effects of the medications, and so they just pile them on. And it's something that really needs to be switched. Like, something needs to be switched for the public, and for them to know that this isn't the only way. You don't have to go down that pharmaceutical road of drug after drug after drug.
Wow. Well, I'm thankful that you saw the light and saw that there were other options. So what brought you to homeopathy?
Well, when we moved here, I started homeschooling my daughter, and we took an herbs class together, and the lady.
How fun.
Yeah, it was fun. And she introduced us to homeopathy, actually. She brought a few products, and I got to talking to one of the ladies that was at the class, and she had a daughter who had chronic UTIs because she had to be cathed all the time.
Oh.
And so she gave me her remedies that her daughter had to take, and I went home and looked them up, and I said, there's no way I'm never giving that to my daughter because they were made from a disease. And then I came and I took your class, and I learned how dilute the medication or the remedies are and how safe they are, and then I dosed her up, and we've really made some significant progress with her UTIs. She still occasionally has issues, but that's because she's a teenager and she's stubborn. And so, yeah, that's what brought me to it.
Okay, so really just that focus on helping your daughter with that particular issue made you dive in and figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wonderful. What is homeopathy for those who are not familiar with this type of natural medicine?
Well, homeopathy is a type of medicine made from natural ingredients. It could be anywhere from plants to venom to medications to disease. But it's super dilute, and so it's safe, it's effective, it doesn't cause side effects, and it works. And so, let's see. Yeah, I think that kind of explains homeopathy. It follows the principle of like cures like.
Okay.
So if you take a product, say an onion, and you cut the onion, it causes your eyes to run and your nose to run, and that's called alum cepa. The onion's scientific name is alum cepa, and homeopathic name, and that is used for treating runny nose and watery eyes. So basically.
And allium seep is one of our wonderful remedies, isn't it?
Yes.
when it's needed, when it's indicated for that issue. Okay. Do you have any tips for someone using homeopathy for the first time?
Well, I think don't be afraid, and go out and get a kit. Whenever you get sick, you're going to be treating symptoms, so you're not just going to take one medication like you would for a pharmaceutical medication. You're going to need a remedy for the symptoms, and you don't want to have to run out to the grocery store every time you have to buy a remedy.
That's a pain.
Yeah. So you can get kits online. You can get Helios kits, and they come with a nice little book that'll give you ideas of what remedy use for what symptom, and they're a lot more handy. And then as far as dosing goes, 30C is a pretty safe dosage to use if you don't really know where you're going. You can also, if you're having physical symptoms, a lot of times it's best to use a lower dose, so a 3C, 6C, 12C, 30C. And if you're having mental symptoms, you can go up from there, so 30C on up.
Okay.
That's kind of a gauge to use. There's a lot of controversy with different homeopaths on what you do there, so. And then, treat the issues that you think you can treat, and if there's something that you're struggling with, then go see a homeopath.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of
Wonderful
times
resource.
where you've been trying all the different things and they're just not working, and there may be something that's hanging you up, some kind of layer that needs to get removed and then get you on your way to health, and that's what a homeopath can help with.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, can you share any success stories you've had with your family or wins that you've helped other people achieve?
Well, my husband had a cap replaced about 5 months ago, and that cap was causing him a lot of pain.
Aww.
And so he called me. He's on his way back in from out of town, and he said, "This is really hurting me. I need you to make me a dentist appointment." And so when he got home, I started him on some HEPAR-6 and some hypericum, and he went to the dentist the next day, and the dentist said, I think you have an abscess, and I think you have bone loss.
Oh gosh.
And I'm going to send you to a specialist tomorrow. And so they set up an appointment, and he came home and continued on the HEPAR and the hypericum. And the next morning he got up, and he's like, I don't have any pain. And I was like, yay.
That's wonderful.
And so he never went to the specialist. He continues to do wonderful without having gone to the specialist. Been to the dentist, have cleanings. They didn't say anything. But every once in a while he says, I can feel something. It's not pain. He can just tell there's something. So
Okay,
he'll
yeah.
take a dose and then he'll forget about it. He's not real great at taking remedies. So.
On a regular basis?
Yeah.
Okay. So did that save your family any money?
A lot of money. Yeah, I think it was going to cost over $1,000
Wow.
for the visit to him. So
Oh, just to visit
Not-
without even the procedure?
not the procedure.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
So-
Wow.
Yeah, and well, then I've had migraines
Okay.
since I was 17, so a very long time.
Wow.
And I have always taken medication for them whenever they come on, and I've tried everything. I've taken stuff that is supposed to keep them from coming. I've taken stuff for when they come on, and I just settled on taking medication for when they came on. And unfortunately, you only get so many pills, and maybe it's fortunately,
Right.
actually, you only get so many pills, and so I would always run out before the end of the month.
Oh, wow. So you were using them quite a bit.
I was using them all the time, and I would get headaches 3 to 5 days a week sometimes during my worst periods.
Oh.
And so when I started treating my daughter, I found a Banerjee protocol, and I started taking that, and I took the first remedies
First
that they
line.
suggest,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't work for me.
Okay.
And so I didn't wait the allotted time. I went on to the second, and it was Aromet and Sanguinaria Belladonna mix,
Okay.
and that worked for me.
Wow. So you didn't give up.
I didn't give up. It didn't. They didn't go away
Right
away,
completely. Okay.
and I haven't completely gotten over them. Every once in a great while, I'll still have to take my medicine
Right.
because it won't go away. But I now probably haven't filled my script in 3 months, 4 months.
Wow. And before you were needing it every month.
Every month, yeah.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's a great story. Anything else? Any other ones that you want to tell us about?
So, I had one client that I've been working with since January, and she is a kid, and she had behavioral issues that were linked to allergies
Okay.
with foods. And so I've been treating her since then, and we've been going through a couple of different remedies and seeing a little bit of improvement. And then I reassessed the case because we were really getting where we wanted to get to.
Okay.
And this is where that figuring out a layer come in, and I changed up the remedy for a little bit and then went back to the remedy that I had her on, which was a really good remedy, fit really well, and it worked.
Wow.
And her behaviors are, her mom says she has a happy home, and her allergies, she says
happy home, that's huge. Can you put a price tag on that?
Yeah. And she's been eating all kinds of things that she's
that she couldn't eat
previously
before?
not been
Okay.
able to,
Oh,
and
wow.
and her behavior is still really good. So,
Are you able to share with us what that remedy was that worked for her?
well, like a podium.
Okay. That's a
Mhm.
great one.
Yeah.
That one really helped my daughter. Not for that issue, but for another issue.
Yeah.
That's great. Do you mind telling us about your mission trip that you went on?
Me and my daughter went on a mission trip to the Dominican Republic,
Okay.
and we really enjoyed our time at the Dominican, but a lot of people got sick while we were there, and so I think word spread pretty quickly. Go see Jen, she's got something for you.
They didn't know what it was, right? They just know it was helping.
Yeah. So, and you know, medicine there is pretty scarce, and it's kind of scary. So
Right.
they came to somebody who was in their group that they knew, and I was able to help people with bowel issues and things that they came to me, you know, if they had sunburn, or I had one lady who wasn't with us. She was somebody who was on the festival day, and she hadn't been drinking as much as she should have, and she was in a lot of pain, and she was passing blood.
Oh.
And and she didn't want to go to the hospital because it was just scary to go to the hospital there.
Right.
So I did treat her while I was there, and unfortunately, and I encouraged her to go to the hospital.
Okay.
And she was like, if I'm not better tomorrow, I'm going to go.
This is serious.
Yeah, and I don't know what happened for her, but yeah.
Okay. And for the intestinal issues, what were you primarily using? What remedies for that? When you're traveling overseas, that happens to a lot of people in developing countries, right?
Yeah. I believe it was China or Veratrum album
Okay, those
were
are
some
great
of the
ones.
remedies that I
Okay,
used.
great. Okay, I understand you're studying to be a homeopath. What led you to that decision, and how far are you in your studies?
Well, it was the addiction to homeopathy that
I thought you were going to talk about the other addiction where you were a drug dealer.
No, I just, you know, I took the homeopathy classes from you, and then I started studying and listening to podcasts, and I was spending all my time studying, and I love helping people, and I love the idea of not having a pile of meds when you go to the hospital for all the people that I know and love, and
Right.
anybody that, you know, I can help get to that point or stay away from that point. I want to do that. So
Aw, you have such an amazing heart. Okay, and how far are you in your studies?
I am a third year student. And
Okay.
So
It is a 4-year program? that
it
you're
is a
doing right
4-year
now?
program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. And do you currently take cases while you're in school? And if so, what is the process for someone who's interested in seeing you?
I am taking cases, and the process consists of basically getting a hold of me, which will put my information
Okay.
underneath the video, I guess. And you get a hold of me, we set up an appointment, and then usually it's by some kind of FaceTime or WhatsApp or some kind of face-to-face video chat.
So
And
you
then,
work with people that are not in the local area as well?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
yeah. And then we chat for about an hour to an hour and a half and
Okay.
take down the history, family history, any symptoms they're having, and anything that comes up. And the more information that I have, the easier it is for me to figure out what I need to do to help them and
Okay.
what remedies to give. And then after that, we follow up. And so if it's a chronic case, I should say, if it's a chronic case, it's about an hour to an hour and a half. If it's an acute case, it's maybe 15 to 45 minutes. It's
Okay.
a lot shorter.
Okay.
I don't need to get like all of the information, just what's
an
going
acute,
on for
right.
a cold. And then we follow up. That's the most important thing, is for you to follow up so that I can help guide you through it. So chronic cases, I ask for a commitment of 4 months.
Okay.
And then for acute cases, at least 1 or 2 follow-ups afterwards.
Okay.
And that way I can learn, and that way I can ensure that, I've done everything I can. Now, if you have a chronic case, it may take more than 4 follow-ups or 3 follow-ups.
Right.
And we can work on past that, but that's the commitment that I ask from them.
Okay, so that's good to know. And I always tell people, you didn't get through this chronic issue, you didn't get here in 4 months,
Yes,
right? So you
that's
can't
right.
expect
To fix it overnight.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And having that patience, but actually, a lot of times homeopathy can uproot that issue and really bring you to a place of healing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so in closing, I would love to know what 3 of your favorite remedies are. I know there's so many to choose from, so I'm sure it was hard to narrow it down, but I was just curious what yours are.
Well, I like Nux vomica. It is good for anything that is too much. I ate too much, I drank too much, I partied too hard.
Right.
Yeah, and
I love that one too. Just because I tend to push myself too hard.
yeah,
And when I push myself too hard and I can feel myself starting to get sick, I'm like, oh, I think I might need some Nux.
yeah, it's a good one. I love Nux. It's not I don't know. It's a great remedy for me. And then I like Pulsadilla. It works well for my daughter. She can be kind of moody. And
No, really?
I know.
Teenage daughters. We both have teenage daughters.
Yeah. And she gets headaches, and it helps with her headaches, and it helps with nose congestion. So it's
Okay.
got lots of uses. And then Gelsemium's a great one for this time of year.
Yes. Tell us about Gelsemium. I love that one too.
Yeah. It's great for when you have any kind of flu-like symptoms, or if you're just not feeling good, or if you have anticipation of an event. It's a great one to take before that. I took one before I came here.
Oh, yay! And do you carry homeopathy with you?
I have a kit in my car.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you, Jen. We so appreciate your time. I'm so grateful that you are helping a community of people and that you are willing to start taking additional clients as well. So thank you for sharing that information with us.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll get to see you again.
Thanks for inviting me to do an interview.
You're welcome.